Hello, welcome into our preseason talk here. I'm Brad Caldwell, and if you followed the page in long enough, you probably know who I am. And sorry for the abrupt loss of music there. My controls are just a little bit off tonight, but that's okay as we get ready to talk a little bit of high school football and really the 23-24 school year and what we have coming up. If you will, right now, go ahead, hit the share button for us and let everybody know that you're watching this. We've got some announcements that we want to make here as we go on to just kind of get you kind of geared up for what we've got going on this season here on the Arkansas Sports Network and the Arkansas High School Sports Network, which I don't know if Alan even knows this or not, but we're probably going to change that just a little bit to rebrand that just a shade, but we'll get that in a minute. And I do have Alan Russell on the line with me right now. Alan, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, Brad. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Alan Russell is the founder of 42 Sports. And Alan, we merged about a year ago here with the Arkansas Sports Network. And we changed the name to the Arkansas High School Sports Network. And it's a branch of the Arkansas Sports Network now. And Alan, you being the founder of 42 Sports, when I came along here, I believe you had like 16, 17,000 people already on the site. Really you did this from scratch. Alan, how did you get this thing going in this direction?
Well, being from Mark Tree, small town, like I tell the story a lot. We've had a lot of athletes overlooked that come through there. Terrence Crockett, just a bunch of guys, Jeremy Bell, Jarmel Bell, and Quan Williams, just countless guys that been overlooked coming through Mark Tree through the years. And so, I just thought, there was no one else doing it across the country at the time where they were covering the bottom of a state. So I said, the top of the state gets all the attention in the world. It's the bottom of the state that lacks. So, I wanted to do something for Arkansas, even if it was, just my little part. And that's what I set out to do. And, along with the help of a lot of guys through the years, Brad, including yourself, we've been able to turn it into something, that's now known statewide.
37,000 people. I can't even believe it. And not to toot my own horn when I say this, when I came along, there was 22,000 people, and we had just this boom. And a lot of it has to do with guys like Blake Calhoun and O.J. Reynolds and the different guys that we have in the back there, Jared Huffman. There are other guys that really helped really build this thing into something that has been, like you said, known statewide. And it has really taken off, and we're really hoping that this year it becomes something even bigger than what we have now. And man, we've got huge plans, Alan. I'm so excited to tell the people and just talk a little bit about what we've got going on. We do have a big announcement coming up about our Friday night lineup and the things that we're going to be doing. So if you will, hit that share button and just let everybody know that you're watching right here on the Arkansas Sports Network, Arkansas High School Sports Network. Let me give you a little bit of a rundown here real quick. We've got two sites, if you don't know this by now. Lord, most people should know this by now if you're watching this right now. But we got two sites. We got an Arkansas side, Razorback, really kind of slanted side. We have the high school side of things. And, it's funny, Alan, the thing about what you have started there with the 42 Sports, which is now the Arkansas High School Sports Network, is that audience is just locked in on high school sports. But on the other side of things, the audience that we have is locked in on Razorbacks. And so we're trying to make a fine balance between the two. Of course, throughout the state of Arkansas, this is what you see covered, and not to slide Arkansas State or UCA or Arkansas Tech or any of these others. You see the main coverage in the state of Arkansas is your high school coverage and your Arkansas Razorback coverage.
Yes, sir. It's big when you can, especially when you collaborate the two. Like you have an athlete like Quincy McAdoo that's doing big things down in the 2A. And, you take it over to that. You can share both pages that way because he's committed to the Razorbacks and you guys was going out and getting his game is just based off, he was committed to the Razorbacks and things. So I don't know if anyone else in the state's doing what we do, Brad. I don't see it. I don't see others doing what we do. They may be, and I apologize if I don't see that. But what we do and what we offer, I believe, is second to none here in the state of Arkansas.
Well, it is no disrespect to anybody else. As I've gotten to know this branch of business here, it is a little bit territorial. There's no doubt about that. There's some territory there that people. Well, they just don't like you moving in on. But, I feel like there's enough coverage to go around for everybody. And this is what we do, and this is who we are. And one of the things that I want to put out there for anybody that's watching right now is that it isn't about Brad Caldwell, Alan Russell, Duran Miller, Bill Harshaw, which Bill does a phenomenal job in the back end. All the things that you're seeing right here either was Bill's idea or really Bill taught me how to do some of it. So anyway, you see all of that. So there's all these great things that are in place. There's all these people that make this happen. But what this comes down to and what this is about is the kids. We did something this last year where people would just send in, hey, this kid hit a home run, this kid hit a home run, this kid did this kid did that. And it was a massive hit on our site. And we're going to do that again this year throughout with volleyball and with football and all that.
I'd like to say, Brad, I was just the first voice to do 42 Sports, the voice of the small towns, per se. But everybody's 42 Sports, man. Everybody from a small community. You're 42 Sports. Your voice can be heard, and we want your voice to be heard right here through the Arkansas Sports Network. That's what we would like to have happen, is have you guys come to us and let you tell us about a kid you have in your town. And Brad, we would gladly share them out there because that's what we want to do. We want to get them out there and get them seen, and hopefully some college or somewhere sees them and gives them an opportunity.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit that right on the head, Alan. Absolutely. That we want to make sure that these kids are covered. We love to watch the high-rated kids. I'm going to give you a lineup here in just a little bit about games that we have targeted for this year to try to give you some of those type of players. But it's the kids like Jaron Burrow who was seen by Williams Baptist. Not that they hadn't already seen him, but they were able to watch him on the state tournament, and they were able to offer him by what they had saw on our sports network. And that's what it's all about right there. And if there's a kid out there, we want to make sure that they're seen and they're heard and that people can get out there because college coaches are watching what we do here. And again, not to say that we're doing anything that's, big time special, but what we are trying to do is get the kids out there, get those names out there, get those kids and let them be seen, let them be heard from. We're going to go try to get to a Benton game. I'm working on that right now. We're going to talk targeted games in just a minute. Obviously, Braylon Russell's a kid that's one of the top kids in the state of Arkansas, and we're going to try to get him. We've got another game, I'll give it to you in just a minute, that hasn't just quite been put together just yet, or I would be giving you these officially. We should be able to put together this lineup here this week. But there's a game that we've got where we've got two kids that are Razorback commitments that are going to be there. But we also have these other types of players like a Jalen Dupree. We saw Jalen Dupree last year 2, maybe 3 times. I know we've seen him 3 times throughout his career at least there at Malvern, and he had a fantastic and phenomenal championship game there against Harding Academy. And his name is out there now. He is a Colorado State commitment, and really just he has tore it up and ready for another season. And that brings us to this. We will be doing an MVP again this season. And D3 Auto Sales has been fantastic to us. They have allowed us and are sponsoring again the MVP, the Arkansas High School Sports Network MVP. Now, with that being said, we are going to start releasing names this week of kids that are on that list right now, which that doesn't mean that you won't be on that list if you are not on there. But what it does mean is what we have to do is we have to figure out who you are. This award is not about the highest recruited player. It's not about the guy that's going to get the most accolades. If this is the guy that wins it, it's because he had the best season. That's what we're looking for in the MVP. It could be a 2A player. It could be a 7A player. It could be an 8-man player for all we know. But we're out there. We're trying to get it, and that's been made possible by D3 Auto Sales.
Absolutely, and I'd like to add to that by D3 Auto Sales doing what they've done for us. Shout out to Randy Pickerel, Daryl Stahl out there. If you don't know these guys, they have great deals on cars, and they're always doing something for their customers. Brad, as you see, they're doing something constant for the customer. Send you on a vacation, paying one of your payments, always doing something, man. But what they've done for us is they've gave us an opportunity to buy cameras to better serve these kids, money to better get out to these communities and see these kids. So, hey, D3 Auto Sales, hats off to you. Thank you for taking a chance on us, and we hope more follow you because that just helps us do what we want to do, and it just gives us, gives us something to do it with, Brad.
Absolutely, and I try not to talk too much about money when it comes down to this. But I will say that if you're interested in what we do, let us know. Give us, you can message us on Facebook or you can email us at arsportsnet@gmail.com. And the reason I say that is that the more money that we have, the more opportunity we have to go out and do these interviews. Gavin Guy is a guy that's been out doing interviews all across Northeast Arkansas. We can send him to different places if we have the ability, or we've got guys that are strategically placed in areas, and all we need is just a little bit of capital to work with, and we can get more kids seen, and not just the guys, but the girls as well, because we covered girls high school basketball last year. Bree McCrotty was our D3 Auto Sales and Arkansas Sports Network MVP. So it's not just the guys that are benefiting, but it's the girls as well. And I can't sit here and tell you that we're going to do this right now, but one of the things that we would like to do, we'd love to give a scholarship at the end of the year. And so with your help, we can do those type of things if you will get on board with us. So if you are interested, or somebody, maybe somebody that you work at a company that you say, hey, Brad, give this person a call. They might help you out. All those type of leads help us tremendously.
Absolutely. And you're getting behind something positive. Today, we spend our money on things that, Brad, sometimes is not positive. It's not going to benefit us any. If you get behind this and help us support these kids, you get behind a good cause, and you could be the difference in a kid going to college or not, playing out his dreams or her dreams.
So as again, we were talking about the D3 Auto Sales MVP list. We're going to start putting that out there, the current list, and then again, if your kid is not on that list, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily over. It just means that we need to find out about those kids. We're going to be sending out emails. I've been collecting athletic directors' emails, basketball and football coaches' emails. We're going to send out a mass email this week. I just want to let you know, if you're watching right now, there's some other things I'm not ready quite to announce yet that we're going to be doing. You kind of have to keep things under your hat, Alan, because you never know who might try to take your idea or give you trouble about your idea, whatever it is. But we've got some things that we're going to do. You'll see that in the email that's coming out. But the D3 Auto Sales MVP list, the initial list is coming out this week. Alan, I'm going to go ahead right now. We're going to give some targeted games that we're looking at through the month of September. when it comes
Okay.
down to live streaming. And most of these games are pretty much a done deal, other than just a yes here and a yes there. There's some logistical things that have to be worked out. The very first game that we're looking at is the Malvern Leopards in Class 4A, the state champions, Malvern Leopards. They'll be taking on Prosper, Texas, live from OBU. All we're trying to make sure is that we have enough room, and we're going to be there. Malvern versus Prosper, Texas on the 25th of August. On the 1st of September, again, one of those things that I am going to I've got a couple yeses here that I've got to make, but we're going to try to be at Charleston for the Elkins Elks as they travel to the Charleston Tigers. Elkins is a top team in 4A. Charleston is a top team in 3A. On the 8th of September, we're looking at Bauxite traveling to CAC. 2 Razorback commitments there. Marcus Wimberly there, just committed from Bauxite. He is there. And then you've got the Wilson kid there from CAC who has committed there to the Razorbacks, the quarterback. Now, on 9:15, I've kind of got an or here. We're targeting Benton versus Catholic. I'm still trying to work on that one. If we don't get that one, we've got Parkview versus North Little Rock on that day. And then I've got an or on the 21st, which is Parkview versus Hot Springs, or Des Arc versus Earl. We're gonna be at Des Arc one time this year for sure. I'm just trying to make sure on the date. And then finally, Rector taking on Izard County Consolidated. I know that there's an 8-man one out there right now. One of the things we did target at one 8-man game this year, and so it wasn't like we were trying to steal that from anybody. If you're watching out there, you know who I'm talking to. We had just got that game when we heard about the 8-man game. So with that being said, that's our lineup right now, Alan, from now until the end of September. We're targeting the 4A state I say 4A state. We're targeting a volleyball tournament this year, so that might change our schedule just a little bit. And then we're also looking at Thursday games as well. We really like Thursday games, and here's why. And I've got Duran Miller. I think he's going to be on the line with us here in a moment. Duran, if you're watching me, I will call you in just a moment. Just hang in there with me. Big announcement that we're getting to right now. Hit that share button and let everybody know. I think this is a big deal for us, something that I think, nobody else is doing, at least on this level right now, something that I have some experience at. But directly after each game on Friday night, starting at 10:15 p.m., we will have a scoreboard show, a Friday night scoreboard show right here on the Arkansas Sports Network that you can be a part of. Again, that has sponsorship opportunities as well. Alan, this is something that we've talked about here for a while to get in and doing, and I'm excited about the opportunity that we've got here to do what we're going to call Overtime Arkansas, and it's going to be every Friday at 10:15. Last couple years, you've done something just with your cell phone, just talked about games and stuff like that. This year, we're going to put a little production value to it, and directly after each game, or if we do a Thursday night game on Friday night, we will go ahead and do the scoreboard show. But with that being said, Alan, we're excited to add Overtime Arkansas to our lineup.
Absolutely. And if there's any guys doing live streams out there, Brad, I'm not sure how deep it goes. Maybe we could have a call-in line about your ball game that night or something. That's where we want to get it to. Not to step on anyone's toes, but we just want to do the best at what we do. And we actually respect the gentleman. What's the guy there in Pine Bluff everybody listens to, Brad?
What's
the scoreboard shows on Friday night?
Oh, you're talking about Rex Nelson?
Yeah, Rex Nelson does an outstanding job. When heck, if Rex is listening or hears this by chance, we'd love to do something with you. You know, that's who I listen. That's my go-to on Friday nights driving home. Brad is Rex Nelson. But, you know, he has all these different coaches and announcers and everybody calling in and telling about the ball game. We want to have that capability where you can call in and tell Brad what's going on or whoever's running the scoreboard show that night. and we just want to make this thing big. And it's going to better help these kids here in Arkansas.
Absolutely. So anyway, that is the big announcement. You've got targeted games: Malvern versus Prosper, Texas; Elkins versus Charleston; Bauxite versus CAC; Benton versus Catholic; Parkview or Parkview versus North Little Rock; or the next week, Parkview versus Hot Springs, or Desert versus Earl, and then Rector versus ICC. So, man, we are fired up. We are excited. Now, again, with that being said, some of this is subject to change. I had somebody on the YouTube side of things saying, "Hey, what about Hazen?" We're kind of we're just kind of taking this one step at a time, especially after the 29th of September, where it'll kind of be maybe not necessarily week to week, but kind of that way. So be with us there. So, Alan, dude, we appreciate you joining us here. I'm going to get to Duran Miller here in just a moment. Here, he's my broadcast partner. I'm going to have him come in as we talk a little bit about all of these announcements.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me tonight, Brad. And we'll talk to you later, my friend.
All right, Alan Russell here. He's the founder of 42 Sports, a partner of mine here on the broadcasting of the Arkansas Sports Network, Arkansas High School Sports Network. We appreciate him joining us. All right, I'm going to bring in Duran Miller. Duran Miller is definitely a guy, another partner type of guy with me here. He's my broadcast partner. Him and myself and Bill Harshaw have been together with this thing now for quite a while. And this, believe it or not, I can't even believe that I'm saying this, but this is our 4th year together, and it has been a lot of fun here to be a part of this situation. We never thought in a million years. I got Duran on the line here. Duran, hold on just a second here. We never thought in a million years when we started this thing in 2020 that we would be where we are now with 65,000 followers. And that brings Duran in here. Duran's a guy that I met at Mount Nebo Pool in 2020. And I said, "Hey, Duran, we're going to do this." And I don't even know what he was thinking at the time. I don't know if he thought I was full of it, whatever it was. But here we are today as we talk a little bit about what we're doing, both on the high school side of things, but also Razorback side of things as well. Duran, I'm excited for the 23-24 school year because I really think that there's some things that we're going to do that are going to be a great benefit to the state of Arkansas.
Yes, sir, Brad. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on the show as we make these announcements about this scoreboard show. We're really excited about it. We're kind of getting things together to make this a big deal and to really hopefully bring something to everybody in the state of Arkansas that they can really watch and see. And I know, my whole life, I always kind of record the news, Steve Sullivan, or there's different ones throughout the state. Just kind of depends on where you live. And Friday Night Lights is kind of the big deal, and that's what this scoreboard show is going to be about. It's trying to give you more information. It's not just the local, around the central Arkansas area or around northwest Arkansas. It's going to be the whole state. That's what we're hoping to encompass, and we're very excited about it, man. And like I said, I appreciate you letting me come on here and talk about it. Like you said, we met at the Mount Nebo swimming pool, which sounds really weird when you just say it that way. But it was summertime. That was the COVID year, and nobody really wanted to go to public pools, where they're really crowded. So Mount Nebo, it's not normally too bad. I had my 2 young children there. Of course, you had yours there. Of course, they're now really good friends, close to the same age group. So, we both know it wasn't a coincidence that we ran into each other. But it's been a fun ride so far. And it's, like you said, we never imagined 65,000 people in 3 years. That's for sure.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. I mean, I remember in 2020, we had an off week. You weren't with us at this point. You were at Russellville, I think, at the time. And we actually went and did the Benton and Parkview game, and we had 100 viewers at that time that watched. I was like, wow. And here we are now. We've had a couple games where we've had 2,000 concurrent devices on us. And, I mean, it's been something. It's been a ride for sure. And we're looking at doing some of these things. Of course, with the permission of the Arkansas Activities Association, we'll be able to do another volleyball tournament this year and then a basketball tournament as well. We'll have those two things targeted, and who knows? I mean, I'm not afraid to tackle a baseball softball tournament if we can get enough people involved with us here. But, Duran, I rattled off some of these games here. Malvern versus Prosper, Texas. Elkins versus Charleston. Bauxite versus CAC. Benton versus Catholic or Parkview versus North Little Rock. Parkview versus Hot Springs or Desart versus Earl. Rector versus ICC. I mean, that's a state championship rematch. You've got the defending 4A state champions. You got the defending 5A state champions on that list. You've got one of the best players in the entire country on that list. You've got two Razorback commitments in Marcus Wimberly and Grayson Wilson. I mean, you've got studs at Elkins. You got studs at Charleston. I mean, this is a heck of a lineup. Again, still subject to change, but we've got some games that are going to be fantastic draws, I think, for the state of Arkansas.
Oh yeah, you definitely got that right. I mean, those, we kind of helped get these together, and I'm extremely excited about some of those games. Like you said, we got a preview or a rematch of the state title. And that one's going to be great with Rector and Izard County. Prosper, Texas, coming up to play Malvern, seeing Jalen Dupree at Ouachita Baptist University. That's going to be a lot of fun. Some of those Parkview games. Parkview won state last year, of course, and they reload right now. They're so full of talent. Bowdoin's really got it going on. I think it's an exciting lineup. And like you said earlier, up till about the 29th, there's still going to be several more games in there that we're going to throw in. Of course, it's going to even get bigger as we get towards playoff time. So, if you got teams, or if you're listening, you're a coach or you're a big time fan in a certain town and we haven't named you, don't think that we might not be coming there, because there's definitely a shot. And if you're interested and you're like, hey, this game right here, is a good one, send us an email or message us on the Arkansas Sports Network, and we're entertaining everything, and there's definitely going to be some options. We want to get out there and get this out in front of everybody, and where people can see these kids. And there's a lot of kids out there that that you don't necessarily hear all the time, that aren't in the top 20 of the state, that are going to have an opportunity, like you mentioned earlier, with Burrow, getting to go to Williams Baptist College, things of that nature. And that's what it's all about. And that scoreboard show as well is going to continue to heighten that and get these guys out there. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely excited about the list you got going so far.
Yeah, and like I said, these are a little bit subject to change, but also we're going to look for these games down toward the end of the year with high importance. I understand that a lot of places have live streams now. I get that. What we're trying to do, I guess, in a way, is bring a little bit of statewide attention to your team and your game and your players, and just have you be in there with us. And, man, I'll tell you what, last year with Hazen and Carlisle, EPC, Earl, those teams that we broadcast last year, the double feature that we did there in the playoffs, that was an incredible turnout there, and those communities rallied around us, not only with their fans, but honestly financially. They helped us tremendously.
Wow.
And it really helped us out in being able to get out there and do those games, because again, like playoff games cost us. I mean, I think a playoff game and a second round game is going to cost you $150, and then a third round game or a semifinal game, however you want to look at it, they cost $250 a piece. That's not looking at what they're going to cost this year. We don't know for sure, but with that said, it does cost us. There are guys that go out there, we got to pay our guys and our crews and all that stuff. It costs us $600, $700, $800 to go out there and do those games. It's not about that, though. We're willing to do that. We just want to make sure that we get those players out there that need to be got out there, that maybe that under the radar kid that just needs a little bit of a boost. We want to put that out there. We'll put that kid out there.
Yeah, and speaking of those games in particular. We were at Hazen. You brought up East Poinsett County, Earl, Charleston, Fordyce. We've done a lot of those playoff games. And I got to call East Poinsett County versus Hazen. We had the D3 Autosales MVP of the year last year was Luke Keene.
Yes.
And us getting to see him up close and personal. We actually did a couple of his games. We have a pretty big panel of who votes on that, but that didn't hurt his chances. I promise you that. Us getting to see him up close, and that's another thing you need to be thinking about when you want to get these guys out here on front, and it'll really help kind of bolster them and get their name out there more and let people see them. Another thing I wanted to say was Dennis Gaines from East Poinsett County led the state in rushing last year, I do believe, and almost broke the all-time record.
He was like top 3 in the nation, I believe.
Right. I think it was like 30,200 yards, something little over that. Had like 44 touchdowns. The kid almost averaged like 9 yards a carry. He was incredible, and we were able to cover him and watch him. And everybody in the stadium and Hazen had an unbelievable defense last year. Everybody talked about their offense, but their defense really was what impressed me more than their offense. And Gaines, everybody knew he was getting the ball, and they did do a pretty good job, but he busted loose here and there, and he put on a show. And he's just a special kid. When you got a kid that's a little bit undersized and he's going to get the ball 40 times a game and he just keeps on trucking. Mm-hmm. Talking about the durability, guys like that, gritty dudes that may not have the builds that everybody D1 or Power 5 is just, SEC is just gushing over, but they're going to go somewhere a lot of times, even if they have to walk on. They're going to be a name. They're definitely going to make their place. Put it that way.
That's right. Well, Joran, I don't want to drag this out here. We wanted to make the announcement again to recap. Number 1, MVP. The initial list is going out this week. Number 2 is Overtime Arkansas, the scoreboard show coming on this month. At the end of the month, we'll have Overtime Arkansas that Friday night of 0 week. And then again, your targeted games that we have: Malvern versus Prosper, Texas; Elkins versus Charleston; Bauxite versus CAC; Benton versus Catholic; Parkview versus Little Rock; Parkview versus Hot Springs, or Desert versus Earl; and then Rector versus ICC. Most of these are just a little bit here and a little bit there from becoming official, and as soon as we can, we will make those games official on our sites. But again, keep helping us out, keep supporting us, keep staying with us. Hit the share button, let everybody know here. I got Sean Caldwell, appreciate. He says, as a high school guy, or a high school coach, he appreciates us. I appreciate you, Sean. He's here at Russellville now. That's a 6A school, and so we're covering the whole state of Arkansas. We're covering all classifications, but one of the things that we'll never forget is the small schools here in the state of Arkansas. So we're excited about that, and we will see what happens. We've got, again, after the 29th of September, we're kind of open again to seeing what happens here with games and that sort of thing. We'll be paying attention throughout the state of Arkansas. So with that being said, Joran, you got any final words?
No, just excited about the upcoming high school season. It's going to be a good one. We saw all kinds of records broken last year, and I think we'll see more of it this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I think you're right. It's always fun, man. And then we get into basketball. It won't be long. And, again, we've put it out there. Hey, if we can come and do a tournament with you, we got to work some things out logistically there. But if we can come do a tournament with you, we'd love to do a tournament with you. We're open to all things here as far as high school sports here in the state of Arkansas, and we really enjoy being a part of it. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this thing up and say so long. And again, guys, thank you for watching us here today on the Arkansas Sports Network, Arkansas High School Sports Network. If you're not following us on either one of those, make sure that you hit that follow button and or like button. I get follow. It feels like the like button is now forgotten. But whatever it is, we want you to be a part of what we're doing here on the Arkansas High School Sports Network and the Arkansas Sports Network. and we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Again, we do appreciate every one of you joining us here on ASN, and man, we're looking forward to it. August 25th, Malvern versus Prosper, Texas. You do not want to miss that. So anyway, for Duran, for Alan, I'm Brad. Bill, somewhere up there in the clouds, the guy behind the Wizard of Oz, the guy behind the curtain here. We say thank you for joining us, and we will see you very soon.